Tottenham horrendous. Relegation battle looms. Everton 3, Tottenham 2. Well, guys, I can't say I'm not surprised at the loss. I didn't have much confidence going into the game. But what we saw was tragic, wasn't it? Especially that first half. 3-0 down against the Everton team struggling. Only scored 15 goals this season, and we conceded 3 in that first half. Wow, what can I say? All Spurs fans are miserable right now. We're absolutely miserable. That was a hell of a beating. And yes, I know the injuries are piling up. It's an easy one an excuse to make, isn't it? The injuries. Only 11 first team senior players, I think Maddison said after the game. But at the end of the day, guys, it was not good enough again. And I'm losing track now of the amount of losses that we have. It is a joke. We are bottom 3 in the form table in the Premier League, 15th in the league. Players look shot. Confidence is gone. I mean, the young players today, they really struggled, didn't they? They really struggled. And our experienced players went missing, especially in that first half. They disappeared, didn't stand up for the fight. So let's have a look at it, guys. Let's break it down. Now, we had a bit of a surprise at the beginning of the game where Ange changed formation, which we haven't seen him do this season. He played obviously Kingsley in goal, Gray right centre back, Radu centre back, and Ben Davies got back in the sides playing left centre back. Then he played wing backs with Spence on the left and Porro, and Ed Sarr and Bergvall in the middle, and in front of them there was Kulusevski, Maddison and Son up front. And I thought, well, look, he's trying something different. But look, it didn't help at all, did it? It did not help at all. So this is my chain of events in the game. I thought Everton started really well. They were really pressing us when we were trying to play from the back. So, and then the first goal happened. Sarr gave the ball away, passed across midfield. Everton pounced, and then Calvert-Lewin hasn't scored a goal in 12 matches, jinking inside the box, and Radu and Gray got turned inside out, and it was a clever finish from footing the goalie. Then we broke on around 17th minute. Son was put through on goal, a ball over the top. He was just too slow. He couldn't get it out of his feet. And Trukowski made a sliding tackle block and it went away from a corner. You could see when watching this game, Everton were working so hard. They were being quite positive, very positive. Their intensity was high. It's probably massively to do with Moyes coming in, taking over. And they were well up for it. And they didn't give us any time on the ball, had a very high intensity. We did try a tiny bit of play around the 20 minutes on the left-hand side, and it got cut out for a corner. Another bit of pressure we held on the 20th minute, forced another corner, but nothing came of it, guys. Nothing came of it. Porro picked out Kulu, a nice ball through. Kulu picked out Son, and Son's shot was poor and went straight at the goalie on 23 minutes. And then there was a warning sign. Although we were playing this kind of three at the back, which you would have thought would maybe give us a bit more defensive stability, especially with Davis being back in there, his experience. But we were playing such an awful high line as we do. There was one ball went over the top to Calvert-Lewin, and if it went for he had a poor touch, and the keeper managed to get the ball, but the warning signs were there. Kinski made another save on 26th minutes. Son had a shot from a tight angle on the left, which was saved. Went out again for a corner on the 26th minute. And then there was goal number 2 from Everton. And Njai with an amazing run. He was up against Radu, just did him for pace, and he just smashed it in 2-0. And you can't say Everton didn't deserve it on the passage, on the play of how that half went. They were much better than us. We did have a couple of moves, but Son just didn't seem on it, seemed off it, which was really, really frustrating because we could have scored maybe 1 or 2 goals. There's another chance later on with Tarkowski, a headed, and it was a fantastic save from Kingsley again, putting it around the post. And then there was the third goal, wasn't there? Not far from half time, another set piece goal. It was just swung in from the right. I think it's free kick. Again, I think it was Tarkowski. He headed it across the goal, and it went in off Gray, and it was 3-0. And yeah, it was unbelievable, wasn't it, guys? It was yeah, it was bad. It was so bad. 3-0 away from home against Everton, who have not played well all season. And it was the worst half we saw us play this season. We were getting overrun. We just weren't showing for the ball. I mean, Ange, he tried to mix it up by changing the system, but the players didn't know where they were, didn't know where they're at, didn't seem to know what they were doing. Maddison couldn't get in the game. There were some nice touches from Kulusevski in the first half, trying to make things happen. But the general play from midfield, we were just getting overrun. It was like men versus boys in that first half. Let's be honest. And and we were just bullied, and it was an absolute mess. 3-0, half time to Everton, and blimey, I know we're bad at the moment, and I know we're in such an awful run of form, and I know there's some players out, but still, there was enough quality on that pitch today that should have put on a better performance. Everton were just so up for it. They really were. So let's move on to that second half. Richarlison came on for Radu, who really had a torrid first half. He got cut in the head. He was getting run all over. He's young, I do feel sorry for the guy. He looked broken. And I saw him sitting on the bench, totally just like, cool. He had a hell of a bad performance, and you have to feel for the man, guy. Honestly, it was a really poor display from him, and will his confidence recover from that performance? Look, again, even though we made that change, it didn't really kick us into action. We didn't really see a change in our play. I felt Everton was still there. The intensity was still high. We were trying to play it out from the back, getting closed down, giving the ball away. Calvert-Lewin had another chance, which was wide. And after about 69 minutes, there was really nothing from us at all. On 72 minutes, Maddison had a shot well wide. Kulu put a cross in for Richarlison, got it, ended it, just missed it. He just couldn't get his head onto it. And then there was a goal from Kulusevski on the 76th minute. Moore had come on at that stage as well. The ball kind of fell back to Kulu, and the keeper was off his line, and he did put a really good finish above all the defenders, kind of like a lifted finish into the back of the net to make it 3-1. But Richarlison had a shot on 83 minutes, but went straight at the goalie. And then late on the 91 minutes, a lovely cross from Moore, and richly sided in at the back post to make it 3-2. And that was it. There was no late equaliser. We didn't deserve it. It was horrendous performance. And we saw at the end of the game, Son was in tears. And it's really getting bad, guys. It is really getting bad. Let's look at some stats of the game. Let's get those stats up now and see. You look at the kind of attacking momentum. It wasn't a bit of Everton, bit of us, bit of Everton. Looking at that attacking the momentum, it doesn't really show the true reflection of the game. I thought Everton were well on it. They really were all over the pitch. They were working so hard, making it really, really difficult for us to create anything, keep possession. But the stats will read like it was. So the expected goals for Everton were 2.3, Spurs were 1.1. Everton had 5 big chances, we had 2. Total shots 12 from Everton, 11 from us. Their keeper made 3 saves, our keeper made 4. We had quite a lot of corners. We had 8 to their 3, and we outpassed them in the end. That must have been in that second half where we had more possession, I guess. Total tackles, Everton 24, Spurs 19. Free kicks 14 each. There's only 3 yellow cards in the game. Look, it was dire, man. And if I look at the table, we're stuck in 15th, 24 points. Everton now are 4 points behind us in 16th. Wolves play on Monday. I know Ipswich got thrashed today at home against City. So we're thereabouts there near that relegation zone with Leicester to play at the weekend. Let's go and have a look and see what Ange said after the game. I know what he's going to say. He's probably going to blame injuries. He's been using that for the last few weeks, really. So he was asked, how do you legislate for that first half performance? Because you're always trying to come back from that start. It wasn't great, the first half. I guess the majority of it came down to me. I changed the team, changed the structure. We had a couple of setbacks in terms of the manager availability, and we struggled to get control of the game and allowed Everton to capitalise on that. Obviously, at half time, we had a mountain to climb. Fair play to the players. They kept going until the end, but ultimately fell short. He was asked, what were you thinking behind the changing the shape of the team? He says, I had 11 fit players, so it was a way of trying to find a way to fit the ones we had into the structure. The players tried hard enough, but it didn't work. He was asked, how difficult was it for you? Just seemed to be taking punches all over the place with losing Solanke ahead of the game, Johnson and Basuma. I heard Johnson's out for about 4 weeks. Not sure about the Basuma. He said it's a pretty extreme situation. We've lost 3 players, significant players since the last game. We've already got 7 or 8 out. Obviously, we lost Dom really late yesterday in training. Something innocuous. So it's just run with on at the moment. The situation we're in, at some point that will change. We'll get some players back. But right now, it's just a situation we're dealt with. And the responsibility lies squarely with me to try and get us out of it. No update really on Dominique Solanke. Probably a few weeks. So he was asked, presumably, that only increases the need for more players. I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, I think it was pretty evident before that. But yeah, like I said, we had 11 or 12 players missing today. And apart from, we've got to see how Bentancur's going through the protocols. Apart from him, no one else is really going to come back. We've got a European game on Thursday. We obviously can't use Spence or Reguilon in that. So in that situation, yeah, I just realised that, man. We can't even use those 2 players. God knows who's going to play. It'll probably be Ben Davis left back, Radu Gray centre backs. Porro, another game for him, I'm afraid. Basuma, oh, well, there's an up-down Basuma. It's just a knock. Should be back by next weekend. He was asked, is there any sign of any kind of imminent transfer activity? Look, as I said during the week, I'm sure, like everyone, the club's well aware of the situation and they're doing their utmost. As far as I know, at the moment, there's nothing imminent. But I assume between now and we're getting to the end of the window that hopefully something comes up. And then he was asked, it becomes a bit tied in with your future though, because obviously you're battling with the team, but you've not got the tools to do it. He says, I separate myself from that. This is not about me, but what is about me right now is I have the responsibility of the group of players I do have to try and get us through this. And that's what I've got to focus on. For me, focus on anything else is abstaining myself from responsibility I have. I'm just determined to get us out of this. The club's doing its best too. More about helping the players and helping me, because they're the ones we're asking some massive jobs from 18-year-olds. We had 17-year-olds out there trying to win games of football for us, and others who are just playing week on week. So it's more about getting the players' help rather than me. Now, look, he kind of obviously referring to Bergvall more. Um, Gray. But as we keep going back to this, Ange accepted Bergvall and Gray as signings that he said he was going to use this season and be part of the first team. So I'm not really having that from Ange. I do know we do have a lot of players out, but this form's been ongoing now for months. Even when we had our fit team, we weren't consistent. We were losing games. Obviously, the losses are coming even more now, week on week. The more injuries are getting, underperforming, lack of confidence. Obviously, Ange adapted today, but generally he has not been. We still played with that horrible high line as well, and got caught so many times in that first half. So even though we did, you would think, look, we'd be a bit more secure, and I kind of like that formation. I thought it'd get more out of the team. Madison and Kulusevski, the creativity behind Son, using the fullbacks, as wing backs to get up the pitch, keep it wide, get crosses into the box, and Bergvall and Star in midfield. I thought it would work, but there was a disconnect with the team. We looked out of sorts. There was just no kind of patterns of play, and Everton were pressing, working hard, so determined in front of the home ground under David Moyes to get that result today, and they thoroughly deserved it. He was asked about how frustrating is it that you keep getting injury after injury. How difficult is that to manage? I've never played the victim. At the end of the day, I still believe the responsibility lies on me to get this right, and that is where I sit with things, wherever the circumstances are. And it's fair to say it's a challenging situation for sure. A lot of it's out of your control as a manager when you're losing the amount of players we are at the moment, but I still have to steer us through. And if I start worrying about myself and the cards I've been dealt with, it's I can't even pronounce that word, something to do with my duty and my responsibility. It's not how I see it. I see it as there are the cards I have been dealt with, and it's up to me to get us out of it. And I have to be good enough to do that. What is the motivation for you and the players to keep going through this? He was asked. Plenty. This club, our fans, our season, we're still in 4 competitions this season. We're still in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. We have a couple of big European games coming up, still in the FA Cup. Obviously, our league position is not great to say the least. We need to improve that, and eventually our players will come back. It's significant talent that we will come back. It's not like this is what it is. There is motivation to get through this. So when we do get our players back, we can then get something significant out of our season. It's all a load of hope, isn't it, from Ange there? He is a desperate man. He really is. Um, let's have a look at some newspapers, what they're saying, what we're hearing from the press. There was an awkward interview from Ange where he was asked a question he didn't like very much at all. Pressure ramps up on Ange Postecoglou. He's the bookie's favourite now to be sacked. He, as I said in this press conference, the focus of talk is not about his future. Trying to stay away from that. Evening Standard said it was a first half horror show, costly as Spurs beaten again despite late fight back. It's not good. It's not good. Jamie O'Hara makes a prediction. He's surprised if Ange keeps his job. Normally, at this stage, a Spurs manager performing so poorly is normally sacked by now. We all saw the data come out today. I think it was Sky Sports of win percentages, and Conte's and Mourinho's were better than Ange's, roughly the same amount of games played, and Ange had the best at the worst results compared to those two managers. It's surprising he is still here. I mean, there was something I saw before the game that they're not sacking him. They're sympathetic with the injuries, and obviously they're trying to work hard in the transfer market to bring in players. But as we're finding that maybe as we are desperate for signings, clubs are putting the prices up. We're not paying the money. You know, Levy likes a bargain. He never wants to pay over the odds for players. This the whole thing with the wage structure, and we're really struggling to find the right player to come in or players to come in. It's not happening. And then if you think about it, a lot of players seeing our situation, our season so far, and how poor we have been in the league, would they really want to join us? Are they really up for that fight? Because as I said in a video yesterday, we need men to come in this team, experienced top players, to come in and shake things up and take control of this team. Because where was our experienced players today? Where were they? We did have a few playing, and they just didn't stand up for the fight. And although the young players have been playing okay lately, they really struggled today. They really did. But that's normal for young players. You know, they're going to they have up and down games. Of course, they're going to play well some weeks, not so much the next. That is normal. And look, let's just run through that kind of injury record right now, and look at how many players we actually do have out. So the injury list is obviously Benton Course suffered that concussion a couple of weeks back. He's out. Odeberg's out. Udogi, Romero, Van der Ven, Vicario, Werner, Basuma, and Johnson, and obviously Solanke as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players out. Look, it's tough, but Ange, he needs to do better with this team. The players need to do better, but I just don't know how Ange is going to turn this round. Obviously, we've got a very winnable fixture against Leicester next weekend at home. And Leicester, I think, are 7 straight defeats, and their new manager Van Nistelrooy is under massive pressure. I mean, that is a desperate game where, even with our players out and the form we're in, surely that is a win. If you lose that, Ange can't survive. Now, there isn't anything immediate coming out that he's being sacked. I mean, just looking at social media's reaction, Ange out, get out of our club, leave you out. Everybody's angry, everybody's pissed off. The people who still remain Ange in, obviously directing it back at the board or disappearing off social media because of the abuse that they get. And it's a lot. It's a lot going on there. A lot of angry fans, frustrated fans. We're not used to this, are we? And I think this form is as worst as it's been since I think the season in 1976-77 when we got relegated in that season when we lost 21 games. And at the moment we're on course for that. So this relegation thing is a thing. Even with getting some players back, the team looks shot. Ange looks clueless. He does not know how to get us out of this situation. And the form we're in is diabolical. It's unacceptable. And, many want him gone. I've wanted Ange gone quite a while ago. But, it's all well and good of me saying this, Ange out. But he's not going, is he? He's not being sacked. As I said in previous videos, that this as he's still in the cups, the board is still giving him those cup matches, but that could all come to a grinding halt at the beginning of February, and then we've obviously got the Europa League as well. We've got a couple of games coming up this month to get into the next round, and it's all one big struggle. Such a disappointing season, unacceptable, unexpected in many ways. Look, the summer transfer window was poor, but and the injuries, and we have been unlucky with injuries. But again, Ange, he should be doing better. And you just look at all the teams above us. The job Nuno's doing at Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth yesterday, going to St James's Park they had quite a lot of injured players as well and winning 4-1. What a result. What a good job that manager's doing. Look, maybe they're looking for a manager now. Who knows? They must have some kind of backup plans. As we saw in the stands, Levy that was there, that Donald Cullen was there watching on. And many thought that they were there. And after that defeat, they were going to make a decision. But look, it is crazy. The whole club's in one big mess. it all comes back down to Levy again. Like we're not getting away with it, are we, this season? Levy has just, cut so many corners season by season. Um, Never really supporting managers, not paying the wages. Just the whole kind of recruitment structure has been so poor over the years, and it's all coming back to bite Levy. I'm afraid it really is, and we are currently in a relegation fight. I do think all it takes is Wolves to get a result, and I mean, I know they've got a tough game tomorrow. I think it's Chelsea away, but all it takes is for them to get a couple of wins and we get a couple more defeats. And you look at the games who we playing after Leicester, Brentford away. We play Manchester United at home. Some tricky fixtures coming up. Manchester City on the horizon, Bournemouth on the horizon. You just think like, how are we going to pick up these points? Plus all the other games going on as well. The transfer window, I have no confidence that will bring any kind of real game changers into the team. Nobody seems to want to come to us. Can't get deals over the line. So look, it's dark days at Spurs. It really is. We can all sit here and moan as much as we like. We do need to get behind the team, of course. But as I said, it's awful times, and a lot of us are just we're just lost interest, our passion. We're just like dreading games. We just don't have any belief in our team that will win games, and it's horrible. It's horrible right now. People have had enough of Ange. Uh, the board, some of the players have gone missing as well. That they're not standing up to the fight. The team lacks leaders. It lacks experience, winners, and I just do really worry that if this team has got the balls to deal with a relegation fight, I really do. You would hope that our quality should get us out of it, especially getting some players back. But who knows? Who knows? And we'll just have to see. We've got another game coming up on Thursday. But guys, thank you for watching the video. Um, Please leave your comments as usual. Tell me how you're feeling. It's just the same thing, isn't it? What we say. These videos I do is rinse and repeat at the moment. I'm not saying anything different. It's just like I have to come on and I have to talk about it. I do my match reviews. I get it out of my system. Beyond the Lane, episode 18 is on Tuesday, 7:30. Myself, Nice Pure Quiz. We've got 3 great guests coming on. Please come down and join us. Get involved with your comments. We'll be talking it out. The fallout. That's a couple of days away now. So we'll see if any news has come out in the press of Ange and his job, any signings. Looking at all sorts of things leading up to the game away against Hoffenheim in the Europa League. So, guys, I hope to see you all there. I hope you try and switch off from this football. Spurs, just such a disappointing club, aren't we? We really are. And this season has been atrocious, and there's no getting away from that. So, again, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye bye.